YouTube, it's me, Miss Cris. I hope everybody's doing well. This is like my 6th take on this video because it keeps going extremely, just way too long, and I'm trying to cut it down, and I'm not exactly sure what I could do to cut it down other than to stop rambling, which I seem to have a problem with. I have some notes here because I want to make a video about nutrition. A lot of folks, I have now lost over 70 pounds from January. So anybody who's seen me before January and then sees me now, like work or personal or whatever, they know I've lost a lot of weight. And the question is like, well, how'd you do it? Because they're looking for the magic answer. And I tell them, did it completely naturally. They're like, well, what program were you on? Wasn't on a program. I really did it naturally. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, did you sure you didn't have surgery? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't have surgery. A lot of people just can't believe that a person can do this on their own. But for me personally, I knew that I had to just do it. I had to find what worked for me, make the food around me work for me in order to be successful. I needed to educate myself about the food, and I needed to make the food that I had available to me work for me, or if it wouldn't work for me, change it. And that is what I did. I did that by watching my calories and my sodium. Sodium is important to watch. I mean, everybody understands the calorie, but sodium is important to watch because I would almost say everybody here eats more than the daily recommended intake of sodium. I don't even know how many people could actually write down in the bar, in my comments, what the actual recommended dose of sodium is without Googling or using some other search engine. So, if you're this big, you could still have a high sodium intake and be not healthy. Sodium causes high blood pressure, and in the end it can cause cardiovascular disease. So it's not anything to play around with, so I decided to watch it because consequently sodium also makes you retain water, and retaining water equals weight. The big thing to point out is all my times before this one, I focused solely on being thin. I wanted to be thin, and that was it. And when you set a goal like that, you're almost setting yourself up for failure because, well, what happens when you're thin? You have nothing else to work for, and then you generally slip back into old habits. So this time was different because I was not focusing on being thin. I was focusing on being healthy. I was tired of being a mom that couldn't do things with her kids because I was too fat. I was tired of being tired. I was tired of feeling run down. I was tired of being embarrassed about my weight, and I was tired of hating myself. The psychological warfare that went on in my head, I think most people would cringe at the thought of some of the things that I'd thought or even internally said to myself. But you know what? That's the reality of it. That is the reality of my weight gain and my obesity to me. I also knew I was getting close to hearing the sentence, Cris, you have diabetes. Or, Cris, you need knee replacement. Or, Cris, your lower back problems are completely related to obesity. Cris, you have high blood pressure. I'd already heard that one, and I'd been on high blood pressure medication for a very long time, but I went off the medication even before I started losing weight. Now those are sentences that nobody wants to hear in the doctor's office. They're things they don't want to be told, and I knew, especially for the diabetes, I knew, inherently, I just knew that my time was coming. I had surpassed 300 pounds, and I knew that I could only be healthy fat for so long before my body decided to turn against me. The older I got, the more of a reality it became, and it was time to become fit, and that was my goal. It was not a New Year's resolution, but it was my goal. January 10th, I said, you know what, I'm tired of being this person that I hate, and I'm going to be healthy. So that is what I did. Now, I did use the old adage of eat less, move more, except you have to make the realization of what eat less really means. Eat less does not mean to physically eat less food. Granted, if you are used to eating a Whopper and a large fry and large milkshake followed, by this and that and bag of chips at night, you're going to be eating less. It means watching your portions and watching what you eat. You can't get through the day eating carrot sticks. It does not have the correct nutrition. It will not fuel your body. You will, like me, in my previous attempts, get frustrated because you're hungry and you're irritable. You'll be frustrated and you will quit. When you quit, that's when you start feeling bad about yourself because you failed again. You know, you start doing that, and then it starts beating you up mentally, and then the whole cycle starts over. And you, in the end, all you did up doing is getting bigger and bigger and less healthy. So I did eat less, but it was in the fact that I read portions and I started understanding what a real portion was. And then I made the realization that if I really only ate one portion, I'm not going to starve to death. In fact, it filled me up. It took a long time with the oatmeal because I was always used to eating 2 packs of oatmeal. 2 packs of oatmeal is 2 servings. So when I eat oatmeal now, I only have 1 pack. And it was a mental block to be able to say, it's okay. I'm not going to get to work in an hour and be hungry. 1 pack is a portion and 1 portion is sufficient. I'm no different than anybody else. The last thing, you know, well, I did find, you know, I said earlier, you know, I personally did not want to have surgery. I did not want to join any food programs. I didn't want to do Nutrisystem or Weight Watchers because I wanted to educate myself about the food around me, and if it worked for me, use it, and if it didn't, change it. I did find a tool, though, to help me. I did not use their meal plan. I used their website, and that's Spark People. I'm sure you've heard me talk about them. All the tools there are free. They have a nutrition fitness tracker, a fitness tracker, recipe calculator, and a recipe database that I use a lot. So I used the Spark tools, which would be the nutrition and the fitness tracker first. And then I got into those, and then because they feed off each other. To lose weight, you have to identify a healthy range of calories for you. If you eat too many calories, your body locks down and goes into starvation mode. If you eat too many, that's when you gain weight. So you got to find that balance of what's healthy and what's going to give a deficit of calories so you can actively lose weight instead of maintain. And when you use the tools at Spark, the fitness tracker feeds into the nutrition tracker so it can see what activities you're doing to spit back out a good number as it relates to your fitness and your weight. It's very important. But when you use the trackers, it's important to know that you have to learn to be honest with yourself with what you're eating. Anybody who wants to lose weight, anybody out there who's interested in losing 5 pounds, it doesn't matter. Your biggest tool could be a piece of paper and a pencil. Track your food. Literally take 2 or 3 days and just write down everything you eat. Don't try to modify it, just write it down. Serving size, what you ate, when you ate it. If it was a snack, lunch, dinner, that sort of thing. And then look at it and see what you're eating and see, wow, maybe instead of having half a bag of Frito-Lays, I could have had an apple. You know, just try to figure some things out. But, gosh darn it, I'm at the 9.5 mark. I'm going to try to edit this out, darn it. The biggest thing that I found, though, is somebody gave me the campfire analogy for not being hungry. I eat 5 to 6 meals or snacks a day, and I am never hungry. It is not because I eat 5 or 6. It is because I eat the right things. You should always have a carb and a protein for every meal, every snack. Carbs are like kindling, protein is like a log. If you try to feed a fire with just kindling, you're just going to throw more and more and more at it. It's going to get hungry and you're going to have to throw more kindling on it. Now if you just do protein, the log, and you hold a lighter to the log, it's never going to burn. You're never going to get that energy. So you build a fire with kindling and a log. Kindling burns fast, goes away, but it's there long enough to get the log going so you get the energy off the log. So your carb, my snacks are normally a cheese stick and a piece of fruit. Cheese stick is a good enough protein. Chomp it down, eat my fruit, fruit's my carb, and I'm good for 3 hours. It's amazing when you have these food combinations that work, how easy it is to go through the day without being hungry, without being frustrated. I think I'm going to do another video here soon about food substitutes, foods that I'm eating in place of other foods that I used to eat. And we'll go from there. So do leave a comment, let me know, rate me 5, say, woo, you're a freak, I don't care. Otherwise, I think I'm going to have to go run a mile before I render this video because I haven't ran yet today. So, have a great night, everybody.